Good Monday evening, June 24th, and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Here are a few of the stories we have coming up for you tonight. 3 Chelan County Jail inmates, including a murder suspect, are now accused of attacking and injuring a 4th man who was housed at the jail. A Massachusetts man died near Kolchuk Lake on Saturday. Sunny and hot tomorrow before wind and cooler temperatures arrive Wednesday and Thursday. All the details straight ahead in your full local weather forecast. Residents in the lower part of No. 2 Canyon had a nerve-wracking Sunday afternoon after a wind-whipped fire broke out and quickly grew to 60 acres before being contained after about 4 hours. The fire was first reported about 4:30 and quickly went to 3 alarms with multiple agencies responding, including helicopters and airplanes. Level 3 evacuation notices were issued for residents closest to the fire, but all evacuation orders were reduced to level 1 at about 7:40 last night. No injuries were reported and no structures were lost. Wenatchee Valley Fire Chief Brian Brett says the fire appears to have been ignited by a lawnmower.
Somebody was just mowing yesterday and accidentally caused the ignition. It ran up the slope and to the ridge up that separates No. 1 and No. 2 canyons. We ended up going 3 alarms. We were ready for structure protection all along Castle Heights Drive, Kings Court, and No. 2 Canyon. It was reminiscent to us of 1992 Castle Rock fire. We wanted to be loaded for bear in case that happened again. Fortunately, we were able to get the air resource order we needed, the dozers, and it checked up in that drainage. So we pulled our people off of structure protection, assembled a hand crew that took that east flank. The DNR had a hand crew that took the up valley flank, and they tied it together around the perimeter of it. So we had containment by 2000 last night. Crews stayed on it all night, and they're up there again this morning. We have such a great working relationship with the Department of Natural Resources that they have an IC on it today and a 20-person hand crew out of Wenatchee's that are mopping it up for us, which is wonderful because it keeps our local resources all in service for our normal 20 calls a day.
At the same time, the No. 2 Canyon fire was pulling in resources in Wenatchee. A multi-structure fire near Orondo also demanded firefighter response. The fire in the Sun Cove community along the Columbia River started about 5:12 p.m. Sunday beneath a parked travel trailer and was pushed by high winds to a neighboring shed, a second travel trailer, and a residential building. Orondo Fire Chief Jim Odie says the dwelling and the 2 trailers were destroyed, and a second house was also damaged. It took 18 first responders from 2 fire departments to curb the fire spread using Sun Cove's installed water supply and hydrants. No one was injured, but 2 domestic cats are feared to have died. 3 Chelan County Jail inmates, including a murder suspect, are now accused of attacking and injuring a 4th man who was housed at the jail. 18-year-old Yairo Enciso is being held on charges of murdering an East Wenatchee teenager last year. Jail authorities say on Sunday, Enciso and fellow inmates Zachary Craig and Michael Lee Royster attacked a 30-year-old inmate in a common cell they shared. The men allegedly punched and kicked the victim multiple times, and Craig is accused of strangling him to the point of unconsciousness. The victim refused to be taken to the hospital. Enciso is the subject in the 2023 shooting death of 15-year-old Tony Figueroa. Craig is awaiting trial for allegedly stabbing another man last year in Pennsylvania Park, while Royster is charged in a separate stabbing. Police are seeking new charges of second-degree assault against all 3 men. The Grant County Health District is warning of suspected blue-green algae blooms in Moses Lake. Blue-green algae blooms are common in the summer and produce natural toxins that are potent and dangerous. Moses Lake is divided into 6 sections for monitoring, and the report of the suspected blue-green algae is in the Middle Moses Lake or Blue Heron Park Advisory Zone. The health district said toxin samples will be collected this week and results will be posted on their website once received. The health district also advises caution around the lake and to keep pets out of the water. When we come back, the Moses Lake School District has a vacancy on its board after a member resigned last week. And flight fans flocked to Pangborn Memorial Airport on Saturday for the annual Festival of Flight. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
A ductless unit from Carrier can keep anyone comfortable. Take Shelly, for instance. She finds me time in her new attic-turned-home gym. And with her Carrier ductless unit, the temperature is always perfect. No matter how intense her workout gets. Carrier. Total comfort, totally happy.
Turn to the experts, Carrier and Alpine Air. Heat and air, call Alpine Air.
Hey man, how's your arm?
Getting better, actually, thanks.
Did they give you anything for pain after surgery? Because I think I may have some left over.
Nah, that's all right, man. Actually, me and my doctor talked about not sharing prescriptions, and that ibuprofen is a good option for me. The risk of addiction is not worth it.
Makes sense.
Take the next step. Don't share your prescriptions and talk to your friends about the dangers of opioids.
The Lake Chelan Chamber of Commerce presents Wonders of Wooden Avenue.
Steelhead Cider offers 20 taps with cider, beer, and wine, featuring views of the lake, great music, and fantastic flights. Find it on Wooden Ave behind the bookstore in downtown Chelan.
Kelly's Classic Ace Hardware Store. From the minute you walk through the door, you'll feel the difference. Kelly's revives the days of personal service lost in the big box stores of today. Kelly's Ace Hardware in classic downtown Chelan.
Wonders of Wooden Avenue, North Central Washington's premier shopping district.
Hi, I'm Mike Steele, and I've been honored to serve you as our state representative for District 12 for the last 8 years. With experience in several leadership roles in civic organizations, as well as being a lifelong resident, I've championed projects that have made a difference in our community. I plan to continue the progress we've made together.
Re-elect Mike Steele, your voice in Olympia. Together we can achieve more. Visit votemikesteele.com. Paid for by the citizens to elect Mike Steele.
A 19-year-old Massachusetts man identified as Adrian A. Aguirre died near Kolchuk Lake on Saturday. The Chelan County Sheriff's Office said at approximately 3:39 p.m., Rivercom Dispatch received a text to 911 message reporting an unconscious male who was not breathing. The reporting party said CPR was in progress, and after about 45 minutes, a person on the scene said the unconscious man did not have a pulse or take a breath for about 15 minutes. The Chelan County Sheriff's Office helicopter transported personnel to the scene and found Aguirre deceased, and he was then transported via helicopter to the Leavenworth Fish Hatchery and to the Chelan County Coroner. The coroner's office said the cause of death is currently unknown. The Moses Lake School District has a vacancy on its board after a member resigned last week. Kevin Fuhr, whose term ends in 2025, announced his resignation last Friday to focus on his health. Fuhr will also retire as Moses Lake City Manager, a position he's held since 2016. A report from the Columbia Basin Herald says he previously fought battles with cancer and underwent surgery to address liver cancer last year. The vacant school board position will be filled by appointment in the next 90 days, and the board will conduct interviews from applicants during open public meetings. A truck hit the traffic signal pole located on the southeast corner of the intersection of North Mission Street and 9th Street yesterday. As a result of that accident, the city of Wenatchee has closed the eastbound portion of 9th Street between North Chelan Avenue and North Mission Street until further notice. Motorists should avoid the area and detour through 5th Street while Wenatchee Public Works staff members continue to assess the situation and the repairs that will be necessary. Flight fans flocked to Pangborn Memorial Airport on Saturday for the Festival of Flight, a celebration of the Pangborn Herndon Trans-Pacific landing and all the aviation history that surrounds it. Visitors had a chance to tour both vintage and contemporary aircraft on the tarmac, taking in a show of Top Gun Maverick, and even go up on a flight around the valley via helicopter. The 56th Army Jazz Band provided the musical accompaniment. Coming up next, the Army National Guard of Washington now has a home base at Pangborn Memorial Airport. We'll have more on that in tonight's feature story. Sunny and hot tomorrow before our weather gets windy and cooler on Wednesday and Thursday. I'll have all the details coming up in your full local weather forecast. That and much more still to come tonight. Please stay with us.
The agents of Kennedy Real Estate Group are committed to providing the ideal client experience. We believe in the power of relationships. Why? Because we don't just work here, we live here. From the nonprofits we serve, the parks where we play, and the local businesses we support, our team understands the value of living in the Wenatchee Valley. Let's begin your real estate story.
Have you noticed how expensive it is this summer to feed a family at most restaurants? Even a burger basket for 6 people can run you $60. But at Abby's, you can still feed a family of 4 to 6 for less than $26. Real value. That's one more reason we're legendary. We know what Abby's customers like on their pizza. Meat. Lots of meat. That's why this month, we're piling on the classic pepperoni, Canadian bacon, and beef. Abby's Triple Topper has the meat you love, and right now, it's on sale. Order your Triple Topper at abbys.com.
In Digital Media Arts program, we learn about video production gear and editing by the combination of class projects and nonprofit work and employment.
It makes things happen.
Yeah.
It's pretty magical.
We work in the industry at the Wenatchee Round, NCWLIFE channel, and the Town Toyota Center events. Every day we work with industry standard equipment for a hands-on learning experience.
Mount Stewart Physical Therapy is all new. New staff, new therapists, and a fabulous new chiropractor. That's right, you do not need to drive to Wenatchee or Kashmir for your care. Come see Dr. Zolman, DC. No referral needed for most insurances. Open your auto and work injury claims with us, or fax your post-op and Medicare therapy prescriptions to us right here in town. We offer covered pelvic floor services. We are premium health care for the Upper Valley. Improve your quality of life today. Mount Stewart Integrative Therapy and Chiropractic.
The Army National Guard of Washington now has a home base at Pangborn Memorial Airport. Officials from the Guard and the Chelan-Douglas Regional Port Authority cut the ribbon Saturday on the Wenatchee Army Aviation Support Facility, which relocated there from Fairchild Air Force Base in Spokane. Brigadier General Paul Sellers, who commands all National Guard operations in the state, helped inaugurate the new facility. In tonight's features story, he explained the choice to move aviation support to the Wenatchee Valley.
Well, if you look at Wenatchee on a map, it is right in the middle of the state. And where most of our domestic operations are, like for wildland firefighting specifically, it's up and down the Cascades. So with our previous location out at Fairchild Air Force Base, the distances that the Blackhawks and the LUHs can fly on a single set of fuel isn't that great from Fairchild, but from Wenatchee, we're able to move anywhere up north and south, as well as anywhere in the central corridor to respond quickly, as well as have a lasting impact. We don't have to go, you don't have to bring as many assets forward because we have assets here when it comes to like refueling or basing operations out of here versus doing it all the way at Fairchild or at JBLM, where we would have to cross over the mountains to get here. We have Charlie 112th, which is the LUH 72s that you can see right behind me here, and then the UH 60s are part of the Charlie Company 168th Battalion. So we have Chinooks, or excuse me, Blackhawks and LUHs. The LUHs are a light utility helicopter, so they do a lot of VIP and they do scanning, like reconnaissance type missions. They most recently did support to the federal government down at the southwest border. Where they got, there's a ball usually at the bottom of the helicopter that has lots of optics, so they can do day and night flying and scan terrain and things like that. And the Blackhawks are a utility helicopter we can do lots of things with. This detachment is part of a medical detachment, so going in and doing medical evacuations for personnel. But also the dual use that they have is that both of these helicopters can be useful like in a wildland firefighting type operation. The Blackhawks, you can attach a bucket underneath so they can drop water on fires, and then the LUHs can really be seen in a capacity where, like, if VIPs come in, like the governor wants to come in and survey the fires, he can jump in one of those and we can spin around the fires and he can observe from that angle while the Blackhawks are dropping water on fires. So we lease this building, and this will be fairly long term while we also try to build a permanent facility on the other side of the airfield. That process takes more than a decade. So we're really just starting that piece. You have to have the land and then the infrastructure and all that stuff has to be built up. And it takes a long time on the federal side for things like that to happen. But our big dream would be to have a permanent readiness center here that we can both base our aviation assets out of, as well as maybe build some ground operations here as well with other units that we have in the state. You know, obviously with a smaller helicopter like an LUH, you can maybe identify where a lost hiker or somebody that's injured might be, but you don't have the capability necessarily to extract them. But what you can do with a smaller helicopter is bring like a couple infantrymen or the medical personnel to offload them so they can go and stabilize a patient, while the Black Hawk actually has the capabilities to drop a cable down and extract somebody up. So really both helicopters can kind of work in tandem with that, as well as with our ground forces to be able to assist in those ways.
Time now for a check of your North Central Washington weather forecast. Hope your weekend was a good one. Pretty nice weather Saturday, and then that ridiculous wind yesterday where we had gusts up to 35, 40 miles an hour, which didn't help certainly with our fire situation yesterday. A lot quieter out there today as far as wind and clouds. No clouds out there. Just a beautiful day, and that trend as we make our way through the week will continue into Tuesday. We're going to be warm tomorrow. Highs in the upper 80s and lower 90s throughout most of our viewing area. And then a cold front comes back in on Wednesday and Thursday. Low 80s Wednesday, and we're talking mid 80s on Thursday before things get a little bit better on Friday with just the chance for maybe an isolated shower. Boy, it was a nice one today. Unofficially, our high temperature 82 degrees. 80 is our normal high now for this time of year. 104 our record, and that was set in 1992. This morning we dropped down to 54 degrees, 56 is normal, and 42 our record. That's set in 1983. Sun came up at 5:05 and will set for us tonight at 9:02. Hot tomorrow. We just mentioned that. Here we go. Moses Lake and Ephrata 92, Quincy 91, and then a lot of 90s from Ellensburg all the way up into Omak. Leavenworth 88, Lake Wenatchee, your high tomorrow 86 degrees. Taking a look at tonight, or I should say, let's take a look at the week ahead, and we will have a roller coaster ride. High pressure here dominating our weather today and tomorrow. This will slide through Wednesday and Thursday. Friday and Saturday, high pressure, and then by Sunday, an even bigger storm system moves in. So yeah, an up and down weather forecast as we make our way through this week. Tonight we expect clear skies and mild temperatures. Our lows tonight generally will be in those upper 50s and clear skies all the way up and down the west coast. For your Tuesday, it's going to feel like summer out there. Sunny skies and warmer. High temperatures for most of us right around 90, even some low 90s in parts of our viewing area. Mid to upper 90s down in the southeast corner of the state. And then by Wednesday, here's low pressure, and it's going to drag a cold front with us and some windy conditions on Wednesday. Partly cloudy skies. We will cool off from the 90s, and we're talking low 80s on Wednesday. So about a 10-degree cool off between Tuesday into Wednesday. For Thursday, partly cloudy. Yeah, still windy right here in central Washington. And we're going to cool down even further on Thursday with high temperatures only in the mid-70s. And then things will get a little bit better again as we get into the end of the week and our upcoming weekend. Friday, high pressure. And here's the top of that ridge coming in over the Pacific Northwest. That'll help us warm up a little bit Friday afternoon. We're talking temperatures about 80 degrees, so a 5-degree warm up from Thursday into Friday. And then kicking off the weekend, some high clouds around the state ahead of that big area of low pressure. We're going to stay warm on Saturday, though. It should be a nice start to the weekend with highs in the lower 80s. Going to be nice all the way across eastern Washington. By Sunday, partly cloudy and another area of low pressure will slide through the state. That's going to kick up the winds again on Sunday. It will stay decent with maybe be some shower activity around us as well. Highs on Sunday near 80 degrees. All right, your 7-day forecast, 58 overnight tonight, 90 tomorrow, a pair of windy days and cooler temperatures Wednesday and Thursday. Not bad for Friday and Saturday with highs in the low 80s, and then partly cloudy and unfortunately back to the wind on Sunday. High temperature 81 degrees. And that's a look at your North Central Washington weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
What does RV stand for? Recreational vehicle or ruined vacation? At Click-It RV, we want you to have a fun, safe camping experience. So for the month of June, get to any Click-It RV store and get a professional propane leak test, tire pressure check, wheel bearings, roof, slide and battery test. And all inspections are free because we want you and yours to have a safe camping season. Thinking of upgrading? Check out the used selection of new and used top brands like Grand Design, Rockwood, Flagstaff, Winnebago, and more. So get to a Click-It RV store near you for a free inspection and keep your family safe.
I have no idea what I'm doing. That's why we need you. We need people to run cameras so I can get back down on the broadcast and talk about what's going on. We pay $75 per event. If it's sports, if it's a parade, if it's Apple Blossom, if it's a Super Oval, $75. If that sounds like some extra good money for you, we'd love you to be part of our team. All you have to do is email me, sports@ncwlife.com. sports@ncwlife.com. In the meantime, I gotta go figure out this camera.
Well, happy Monday to you. The Mariners dug themselves an early hole and couldn't quite come all the way back at a 6-4 loss to Miami Sunday. Marlins took 2 of 3 from Seattle over the weekend, hitting 2 home runs and teeing off for 6 runs on starter Bryce Miller. The M's loaded the bases in the 9th, but Julio's hard hit was snared by the Miami second baseman to end the ballgame.
Ground ball left side, and it sneaks through for a base hit. Seeing eye single for Jake Berger, and the Marlins take a 1-0 lead. Gordon, fly ball right field, hit deep and gone. A 3-run homer. Nick Gordon. What a start for the Marlins.
Well, you fall behind the Marlins, and they were very aggressive. That's only their 62nd home run as a team, but a big one here in the first inning.
Got him. Jazz flips it back behind first, and it gets down. And flying home is Vidal Brujan.
Here comes the 0-1 pitch. And Sanchez swings, hits a high drive in the air, right center field. This thing just exploded off his bat into the seats. Second home run of the afternoon for the Marlins, and they've got a 6-0 lead.
This is into the corner and really tagged well, back and up to the second deck. Luke Raley, that is an opposite field a home run in its truest form. Man, that was punished. Well, the Mariners get on the board.
So he gets a cutter right out over the plate on the outside corner and went with it. Exit velo of 104. And that's a big time opposite field home run.
Bliss has been swinging a hot bat. Ground ball and gobbled up. Low throw handled by Bell. Raley scores from third base. Does bring home a run. 2 outs. Swinging away first pitch. It's into center field for a base hit. Garver hits third base. He wheels around and scores standing. J.P. Crawford wasting no time.
To second base, and Otto Lopez seals it. It's a Marlins win.
Well, he had to stretch as far as he could stretch to make that play. Great drama here in the 9th inning with bases loaded. Tanner Scott escapes. Nice catch by Otto Lopez. The offense for the Marlins outstanding. 4 runs in that first inning. A fastball jammed Rodriguez. You thought it was going to get into right field.
That's a tie game if he doesn't come up with that.
Luke Raley ended the 3-day, he ended the day 3 for 4 with 2 runs and a 2-run homer. Mariners are in Tampa Bay to take on the Rays in the first of 3 games before returning home on Friday. Tonight's game available on Root Sports Northwest. Houston is quickly gaining ground on Seattle in the American League West. The Astros completed a 3-game sweep of Baltimore with Sunday's 8-1 win. That closes the gap to 6 games in the division. Texas also swept over the weekend, taking down Kansas City Sunday 4-0. The Rangers Rangers trail Seattle by just 7 games. Oakland was blanked by Minnesota Sunday 3-0. The Wenatchee Apple Sox salvaged the final game of a 3-game set with Walla Walla Sunday, coming from behind for a 9-5 win. As we hear from the voice of the Apple Sox, Joel Norman, Wenatchee had one big inning to get the job done that after falling to the Sweets in the first 2 games of the series.
The Wenatchee Apple Sox trailed by a 4-2 score going into the bottom of the 7th inning, but they erupted for 7 runs to pick up a 9-5 victory against the Walla Walla Sweets on Sunday night at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. Max Hartman delivered the big blow. He stepped up to the plate with 1 out and the bases loaded, and he delivered a 3-run RBI triple to put Wenatchee in the lead again for good. Roberto Gonzalez was a big effect on the Apple Sox in his first weekend with Wenatchee this summer. The third baseman reached base 3 times via base hits, also drew a walk and stole a bag while scoring 2 runs on Sunday night. The Apple Sox remain tied for first place with the Edmonton Riverhawks, and now Wenatchee welcomes in the Kelowna Falcons to town on Monday night at 6:35 p.m. at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium.
Gonzalez went 3 for 5 Sunday with 2 runs, while Max Hartman was 2 for 6 with a run and 3 RBI. David James pitched 2 2/3 innings of relief for his 2nd win of the season. NCWLIFE channel will be out at the ballpark tonight to broadcast Wenatchee and Kelowna live. Our pregame gets underway at 6:30. First pitch is 6:35 from Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. Let's check the scoreboard last night. Thanks to Les Schwab, Edmonton beat Kamloops 7-2 to pull to within that first place tie with Wenatchee atop the WCL standings. Bellingham fell to Victoria 6-2. Kelowna comes into town after beating Port Angeles yesterday 7-4. Other WCL play Sunday, Portland nipped Nanaimo 6-4. Corvallis topped Springfield 7-4. Cowlitz down Yakima Valley 10-2. Ridgefield got by Bend 4-3. Here's the latest standings after the weekend in the West Coast League North. Wenatchee and Edmonton at 14-7. Bellingham a game back at 13-8. Victoria is still in the first half hunt, 3 games back at 11-10. Corvallis rides a 3.5 game lead over Portland in the WCL South at 17-3. Pickles are second at 13-6. Bend is 5.5 games back at 12-9. Well, it was big rigs and a porta potty 100 at the Wenatchee Valley Super Oval over the weekend. Lake Stevens' Chad Fitzpatrick held on for the win. In the Jerry's Auto Supply Pro Late Models main event, he goes home with the coveted trophy featuring a porta potty atop, recognizing the race sponsor Apple Valley Pumping. Linwood's Naima Lang was second, followed by Boise, Idaho's Aubrey Christiani. East Wenatchee's Cody Harris took the main event checkered flag in the Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning Thunder Car main event. Wenatchee's Luke Shaw was second, followed by fellow Wenatcheeite Carl Brandt. That's the big question. Wenatcheeite or Wenatchee-in? That's the question. Make it 3 for 3 in the season so far for Jared Ingram and the Plum Perfect Roadrunners. The Wenatchee Racer won his 3rd straight main event in the class over the weekend in front of East Wenatchee's Jason Walker and Wallace Baker. Black smoke belched high into the air for the North American Big Rig main event. When the smoke cleared, Eckville, Alberta's Darren Birdall took the checkered flag. Calgary's Cole Weisner was second, followed by fellow Albertan Corey Ripplinger. WVSO is off for a few weeks as they prepare for the Can-Am Thunder Hobby Challenge Kids Night. That'll be on July 6th. Let's look at sports news. I'm Eric Granstrom. Have a good Monday.
On the next edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, we're previewing a big benefit concert for Vets Serving Vets and The Bunker. It'll be right here at the Washington National Guard Armory the last day of this month. Bruce Blevins from Gladstone Community Choir, plus our good friends Mark and Jose from The Bunker. Vets Serving Vets, great organization, 2 times over on the next edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley.
And that will do it for our newscast tonight. For more news from around North Central Washington, you can find us at ncwlife.com, on our social media channels, or on our mobile app for iPhone and Android. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. Email us at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks so much for being with us, and have a great night. Tune in Monday through Friday at 5, 6, and 10 for the NCWLIFE Evening News, or go to our website at ncwlife.com, or you can visit us on Facebook. North Central Washington, the NCWLIFE channel has you covered.